and welcome to the Carolinas Luxury Real Estate Podcast, Christie's Luxury Expert Series, where we talk with Christie's agents all over the country who are experts in their luxury market. I'm your host, Sam Sparks, the broadcast audio coordinator at Ivester Jackson, Christie's International. Joining me to discuss Christie's luxury brand in her market is Leize Gaillard, who's an experienced agent with William Means Real Estate in Charleston, South Carolina. Thanks for joining me today, Leize.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're glad you could make it. So can you tell us a little bit about your real estate background and what brought you to Christie's International?
Absolutely. So real estate was a second career for me. My background is in counseling, actually. I have a master's degree in mental health counseling, and I worked at the College of Charleston here in Charleston for about 8 years and wanted a change. I'd always been interested in real estate. My father is a local real estate attorney, and we have deep roots in the Charleston area, and it's always been an interest of mine. So I reached out to the then broker in charge at William Means, who was a longtime family friend, and sort of let her know that I was curious about real estate and what she thought. And she said, if you want to do this, we will have you immediately. And so the rest is history. I've been there now for about 8 years and absolutely love it.
Wow. What a road, huh?
Yeah.
So what's happening with luxury real estate in your area?
Here in Charleston, we continue to see a lot of interest in from out-of-towners. We see folks coming in from the Northeast, from overseas, even now from the West Coast. We're seeing more folks from LA and other parts of California. And this has been a trend in Charleston for some time, really over the past 10 to 15 years. It's been a popular spot for people relocating. When Charleston began to get a lot of national attention in 2000, say 10, 15 and beyond, Condé Nast best places to live, that kind of thing. So it's been something we've been seeing. However, with the pandemic, there's been sort of an exponential growth in the last couple of years with people moving and looking to relocate, particularly with more and more companies allowing folks to work remotely, and Charleston growing and becoming more accessible to other parts of the country. More flights being added, each month here in Charleston. And so it's become a place now where folks can realistically live, work here, but maybe be based somewhere else.
Right. And obviously you touched on the work from home. I mean, that's really changed the game, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Particularly now, there's several flights a day direct to New York City, to Washington, D.C. You can take direct flights to Seattle. Amazon is here. Bosch is here. A number of bigger companies have located in the Charleston area. So you're just seeing more and more industry happen. And that just wasn't the case, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember Charleston as like a little city growing up. And
absolutely. I grew up here. I was born in 1980. And in 1989, we had a big hurricane. Those in the Southeast will remember Hurricane Hugo. And that really marked a big change for Charleston in terms of the way that the city was growing. Up until that time, it was steadily growing like other cities of that size. But after Hurricane Hugo, we really started to see sort of a steady increase in property values and industry growing in Charleston. And then really after the mid 2000 to 2010, it's really just taken off from there. And it's become a destination city and known worldwide as a place that's great to live in.
Absolutely. Sounds wonderful.
Yes.
So what are some top drivers of interest in your area and why are people looking there?
Yeah, there are a number of things that bring people to Charleston, depending on ages and stages, what people do professionally. For most people, the weather, with the exception of the heat of summer, Charleston is a beautiful place to live year round. Right now, it's in the high 50s and bright and sunny. So all year round, you can get outside and enjoy what the area has to offer. So that's a huge driver. For a lot of folks, particularly folks coming out of the Northeast, property taxes here in South Carolina are a driver. For if you're living here and it's your primary residence, the property taxes here are very affordable compared to how they are in a lot of other states. So folks often, even who have other properties in other states, will claim their home here in Charleston as their primary residence to take advantage of that tax benefit. So that's certainly a driver. I think the culture, the food, particularly in the last 10 to 15 years, there's been more and more happening here in Charleston that is on par with restaurants and cultural opportunities that you would get out of a major city. So no longer is it a place where there's not much going on. You can always find something to do in Charleston. And then, of course, being near the beach. It's, we're a coastal city. The area is beautiful, and there's a lot of opportunity to just get outside and enjoy yourself here.
Wow. I think there's plenty of things to make people want to move there.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Now we see that you're very active on social media. Does this impact your ability to get exposure, for your clients and then attract new ones?
It does. For a lot of the highest end real estate that I do, there seems to be less activity with that. And I don't know if that's a function of the age of the buyer, that sort of thing. Although that is starting to change, particularly as more younger professionals from big cities move to Charleston. They tend to use Instagram and other social media platforms. And that includes for looking at real estate. However, with that sort of mid-range buyer, anywhere from, 600,000 up to 1.5 million. Social media is absolutely being used and has been a great tool for me, both in promoting listings and connecting with clients that I already have, but also attracting new clients. There's been several occasions where people have just found me through hashtags or other means on an Instagram in particular and said, hey, we're looking in the Charleston area. You seem like you could be a good fit. We'd love to work with you. And that's always a pleasure because they already sort of jive with the way that you communicate and what you're interested in. And that tends to be a really good fit from client to agent.
So I have to ask, what's your most popular hashtag?
Oh, man, I'm not great with these. I'll be real. But, just Charleston real estate, the coming soon, just listed, those types of things tend to attract a lot of attention. And then in Charleston, too, hashtagging the neighborhoods, particularly when it comes to downtown Charleston real estate, because you think of downtown Charleston, the peninsula of Charleston, there are, offhand, I'd say maybe 8-10 distinct neighborhoods that are within that downtown Charleston area. And so hashtagging particular areas really can give a user a quick idea of where that property is without even knowing the address. And that tends to be helpful.
No, I think that's great to get people to kind of know the general location. Absolutely.
Particularly, right. And for Charleston, in areas that aren't delineated by, say, gated communities or, more specific neighborhoods in that sense, having an agent who's local and who understands that, yes, you're one street over from this, but this puts you in that neighborhood, is very helpful. And I think that social media can help clarify that for people who are maybe unfamiliar with Charleston or just getting to know Charleston and trying to get the lay of the land. Yeah,
might as well use every tool you can.
Absolutely. And I also find that social media, Instagram in particular, has been a great tool for communicating with other agents. With clear communication and cooperation rules, we've had to pull back on coming soon and sort of pre-market promotion. However, within 24 hours of a listing going live, you see that type of activity on social media. And it's been super helpful with sort of getting buzz going for a listing that is about to hit, communicating with agents. I mentioned before we hopped on this call that I just had a listing go live this week. And the people who were sort of responded social media wise, other agents, at least 2 of them have brought offers. And I had a communication with them in the first, 6 hours of that listing going live via Instagram. So it's a great tool and one that I foresee continuing to use and recommend it to all agents who are curious about using social media for their marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a proven tool.
Yeah.
So how do you network with other Christie's affiliates around the world?
To be honest, I wish there was more opportunity to do it. A couple of years ago, Mr. Jackson hosted a sort of conference in Asheville, and that's how I got connected with you guys. I was particularly interested in connecting. I actually went to Davidson College, so not far from you guys in Charlotte. Have always spent a lot of time in Western North Carolina, so I think I have a particular affinity to the agents that are in those necks of the woods. But that was an awesome opportunity to connect with other Christie's agents, and it's proven to be relationships that have continued since then. Beyond the North Carolina agents, I really haven't been able to connect as much as I'd like, but I'm hoping that once things get back to normal post-pandemic, if that happens, when that happens, that we'll see an uptick in that type of networking. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Oh, absolutely. People love to live in those metropolis areas, but also get a house in Charleston.
Absolutely, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Now, Christie's International uses the phrase luxury defined. Mm-hmm. What does luxury mean to you?
Wow. It means so many things in Charleston. For some, it means, huge square footage and beautiful views and, giant open kitchen, chef's kitchen, that whole deal. For others, it means a historic pied-à-terre with very fine woodwork from 1780. So it really depends on the buyer. As far as when I'm working with a luxury agent, what they mean by that. To me, the most luxurious properties in Charleston are the ones in historic downtown Charleston. But I am a little bit biased, having grown up there and having a love of historic properties and historic architecture. And I think what comes with that, too, is a connection between luxury and stewardship, that there's a sense of a person purchasing a downtown historic home with a commitment to seeing that into the future. So it's not just about what they want right then and what they sort of are hoping to have their lifestyle look like in that moment. They're also taking on a responsibility of taking that historic home and taking care of it and moving it to the next generation. So when I think of sort of the most elegant luxury that I can think of, it's that buyer who is taking on a home that has already been here for 200, 300 years and hope will be here for 300 more.
Wow. That's an old house right there. 300 years. Goodness.
They're not all that old.
No, I think the oldest thing I've been into recently was the Biltmore. I mean, even that's not 300 years old, right? I mean, goodness.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And fun fact about the Biltmore, my husband is a contractor. He works at a local private school that has a large swath of land in downtown Charleston. And the school has a pool that has the same tile as the pool at the Biltmore estate. So from the early 20th century. So it's quite stunning. And so even things like that, I get a kick out of. And you're always seeing things like that in Charleston. You can't go very far without seeing something special architecturally.
That's really cool. It definitely makes it like a place I definitely want to go visit. Well, now, Leize, it is time for our lightning round portion of the podcast.
Okay, I'm nervous.
Don't be. It'll be fun, I promise. All right. Do you prefer sweet or salty?
If I had to choose, I'd say sweet, but it's close. Close tie.
It is a close one.
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite place that you've traveled?
Ooh, I love Paris. I spent time there in college and try to get back there whenever I can.
Okay, great. I do like a French baguette. All right. Well, see, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you, Leize, for joining me today and talking about Christie's International in your luxury market. It was great chatting with you and learning from your experience.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So how can people contact you if they have any questions or need help with real estate in your area?
They can reach me by email, by cell phone, by text, or Instagram. My bio and email address and phone number are also on the William Means website. So number of ways to reach me. I'm responsive to all of the above, so feel free to reach out anytime.
Awesome. Thanks. And if anyone wants more information about the firm, you can visit us at ivesterjackson.com. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.